All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. It is Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in our YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe our videos. Really do appreciate the support. And turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. We do videos on the weekend as well. Reminder, Thursday is July 4th, Independence Day. Market is closed that day. So just a heads up, don't forget. All right, back to work. Dow futures are down 87 points off the lows. The Russell just went green. That was red earlier today. Nasdaq is bouncing back as well. So is the S&P. S&P down 20, Nasdaq down 95, respectively. 10-year Treasury yields pulling back a little bit. They were up higher yesterday, 4.432% currently on a 10-year basis. The dollar's down 105.83. The VIX is up 3.36%. Russell 2049, that's green. Again, just went over that. Crude oil is up about nearly 1%. 84.12, $2.60 for gasoline futures, up 1%. Gold futures are flat, 23.37. Silver futures up 0.72%. Copper is green as well. We're waiting for the Tesla report. Here we go. Tesla deliveries. I got it here live. Let me go ahead and post it on the live market block. This was kind of like, oh, do I do the morning note or not? Because this is going to be with some news I'm waiting for. All right, let's look at the number together. So Tesla, here we go, starting to push. If you guys remember, we did the 220 calls. I had a lot of members asking me, do you want to do another Tesla? But when I spoke to everybody on the chat, get a treat like earnings. We don't know what's going to happen. But this is nothing new for Tesla. Again, we said this yesterday. We know what our target is really. It's right around 227. So even after this, yes, we're above the 200-day. We're going to have to wait a little bit, at least till, we get some kind of pullback back to the 200-day. And then we could see if the premium prices fall a little bit. So we can target 230 with some time. But again, we're getting the move higher now, which is great, especially if you have a runner on Tesla calls. We had the 220s. If you go back to last week, see the 220 calls. Where were they? 220, 220, 220. Make sure they were here. Yeah, here you go. The 26th. Tesla 220 calls for July. So again, if you're holding those, these are going to probably be maybe around 200 something percent. Again, if you have a runner. If you have the whole position, great. But again, Tesla moving higher, that's going to be great for the NASDAQ. That's what we want. So again, this is going to be your target right there, right around 230. Again, I wouldn't jump into it right now post the delivery numbers, but you could see this downward trend, right? Downward channel. Actually, 226. Sorry, not 230. There we go. But you are above the 200-day. That's a really, really good sign. Again, guys, we've been all about Tesla really since the ugly days of 140 when we had the earnings report back in April. Also, July 19th or 17th, I think it's the 17th, Tesla reports earnings. So in 2 weeks, we'll get another catalyst. So maybe we'll get some positioning in Tesla as we target to 2670. So let's be careful. Let's see the price action as we go. No need to rush anything. And we'll see what we get on Tesla. Let's go ahead and go to another stock, NVIDIA. And this I want to show you guys. Take a look at this candle. This is your hammer candle. This is a bullish candle right on the 20-day as well. It's been holding. It held the 20-day yesterday. I think NVIDIA has more room to go. Seasonality speaking with the NASDAQ is strong. We're going to see higher on NVIDIA, but let's see the price action. I have an alert at 125.13. It is down this morning. It was down yesterday as well. Got as low as around 118.76 on NVIDIA, but we will see how the price action develops. Apple. Apple hit above 217.57 and then pulled back. I do expect Apple to move higher. 220 seems to be an inevitability for me. It actually hit its highest closing price, apparently. Was it on Apple? No, it didn't hit the highest closing price. But 220, that is going to be our money level. If you were so inclined, you could see that kind of a downward action and then kind of a breakout. But we want to get 217.57 to 218. 220 is inevitability, in my opinion. Again, the question is when. And then Palantir, a name that we've been hitting over and over in the downward channel, downward trend line, breakout, beautiful holding support. 26.15 hit, 26 hit yesterday and then pulled back, retested this resistance that we had broken before back from earlier this year. So if we just go by this whole 2024, you can see we're basically at the same price we were back in January. So getting back to it, the question is, do we get to 27.15? And like I spoke about yesterday, what the real money target is right there, that weekly gap at 31.32. So we got a little more on Palantir, and let's see if we get this move. Let's go to NASDAQ rather quickly. And you can see, yes, you do have that change, that gap from the change of contract. Again, that's not a price discovery gap, meaning like earnings or bad news or good news or what have you. It's just a change of contract. So again, we can just ignore it. I just put that there so we could see it. 20,000 is going to be your pivot point, guys. So again, anything above 20,000 seems to be the level where you can go long. But again, you have to keep the stop rather tight. So again, now we're just trying to find a needle in a haystack at this point. So we want a complete clean break up or down, more than likely up. So let's see if we can get above 20,050. That should be good enough. That should confirm 20,000 if you want to get in early. But again, I am very bullish for the next 2 weeks, just for the simple fact that seasonality and fund flows in the first 2 weeks of July tend to be the strongest, historically speaking. That's just what it is. Good morning. How about Palantir? Yep, just went over it. Let's look at it again. On the 4-hour chart, it is down pre-market, as we know, NASDAQ, but the Russell's up. 26.15, if we can break that, we're going to get to 26.62 and then on to 27.50. We're going to look for this main gap. This is our 12-month price target. So let's say this bank, let's say Gar Capital was an investment bank where we actually gave, all these reports to our clients, whatever. Just think of it that way, like Goldman Sachs, right? Our 12-month price target would be 31.32 on Palantir. So we need to keep that really in focus when we're thinking about this stock. Now, it's 12 months. It doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. It's just that's the target that we're looking for, the main target. Tesla, again, yes, it is pushing higher, looking great. I love it. The question is, well, hindsight being 2020, would be nice if we had calls yesterday, but we have a runner running on Tesla, so it is moving nicely. 226.70 will be your next resistance. If it breaks above 226.70, it's a whole different ballgame for Tesla. But at this moment, right now, we're at 220. So we need to look at it as the 200-day moving average at 205 is going to be our support. I would either wait for the break above this, because then we'll know that break is out. That gap is filled. This gap is filled. We can remove this. There's one more gap to fill, guys. 289.47. I know that seems like a long way from now, but again, step by step, we started in April with Tesla. This name was hated. So was Apple. Is it time for Tesla to get a little love? All we're doing is getting back to this channel. Nice wedge breakout as expected, but use the 200-day 205.92, 206 as your support. If that breaks down, then things get interesting, maybe back to 190. But for right now, right around that 220 level, 226.70 will be your trend line resistance. So right around here, take some profits. If you have some calls, be smart. Use that time in the morning. If you want to leave a runner for July or whatever time you want, there it is. There was also some unusual options activity I shared as well on Tesla. This was on watches and charts. So I didn't trade this, but I did send this out as just a heads up. Here we go. Where did I put this? Tesla, November 15th, 265 calls, very far out. 14K in volume. The ask is at 1265, so some definite bullish attention. This was at 2 p.m. yesterday. Looks like someone knew what the delivery numbers were out. So kind of nice to have November 15th way out expiry, 265 way out of the money. It's a good way to, trade it that way if you know a little something inside information. Not saying it is, but I did not trade that. But either way, let's see. Next. Oh no, XLE. I just want to say this for the record, I'm not touching crude anymore. That did not work out for me. I am pissed off with that. So I think I'm going to take a little moratorium on trading energy companies. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and use trend lines, use technical analysis as always. Downward trend, breakout, breakout. To be fair, XLE has been decent to us. It's not like it's all been all bad. Just had a very ugly trade on that one. 91.89. The problem I have with crude oil is this, guys. we're in a death cross on crude oil. Now, if energy's prices go higher, fair, but it's still at a death cross. The 200-day below the above the 50, or the 50 below the 200-day. Now, again, we're getting a push now, but as of right now, this is not good. I do not want to see this if I want to be long energy. With that being said, you could see that there is no death cross on XLE. So it could be just a little bit of a differentiation in correlation. Fair enough. But we have a downward trend here. And you could see that we're rejecting the 50. So let's go ahead. I'm not going to trade energy for a while, but if you guys want technical analysis, fair. 92.58. If we get above there, fine. Maybe 93. We could see if we could target the 94 calls. I already hate myself for even saying that, but here we are. Let's take a look at X1 because, well, I like pain. And guess what? The handle is finally breaking out, but not quickly enough. Two ugly inside day candles. You can see on the 50. I know. I'm going to place an alert here at 116.77 and see if we can get to 120. I'm not expecting much because I got burned last time with energy stocks, including Mr. XOM, Exxon Mobil. Let's take a look at TQs together. TQs, I got a break of 76.01. That breaks, I'm playing calls. Below 71.02, you play puts. Pretty simple, just chop. Sucks. Let's take a look at SPY together. All right, let's do some 1 hour price action here. We want to keep it very short term. All right, here we go. So we'll use this as our support, at least in the last 20 days, which is right at 542.60. So if that breaks, does it mean ball game? No, because if you expand it out to the daily, it's not much. You're still not even below the 20-day. So personally, I would prefer that we break the 20-day. Or if you break 542.60, you could target the 20-day at 540. I think S&P futures are a better trade than SPY personally, but we'll use this as our support from now on. But another hammer candle. Not the best. Not the best for the Bears, anyways. Let's take a look at Qs. Very similar to TQs. It's just chop. Not a lot of edge. Just holding up a trend line. That's pretty much it. So we're just going to have to hurry up and wait. I guess if we get above 485, that'd be nice. Thoughts on MU to test all-time highs by the end of the week. Reminder, the end of the week, this week, that Thursday is July 4th holiday. So you're already losing a day. So I would not be trading for this week whatsoever. Get above 136.81, we can have the discussion about buying the dip. It is a nice candle bouncing off the 50-day. If we can get above 136.81, maybe 137, we can target the 140 calls. Not against it. That 50-day moving average has been a nice support really since February. Look at that. Pretty clear holding up on Micron. So I have Micron on our alerts, just haven't hit yet. AMD calls. AMD, the forgotten semi. And it's just absolute ugliness of chop. Good luck trading this. I don't even know what this is. This is just glop. It's right on the 50-day, right below it. Get me above 166.88. We can have this discussion. If we break below 152.64, maybe we can target puts. I hate myself for saying that. To 148, which is the 200-day. There you go. That's pretty much it. Nike had some options on the September calls, the 100s. Let's see it. Didn't show any volume. I won't show it because it's after hours. But again, we are still below this main trend line. I'm gonna have to expand this a little bit. I mean, yeah, green candle, not bad, but 68.15. If that gets breached, maybe gets a little more fun for the dip buyers. But until you retake 93.55, it's a losing battle, it seems, for Nike at this moment, anyways. And Tesla reporting on that move. Yep. Put it on the blog. We're starting to move now at 221. What a move. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. It'll show the live number. Again, 226.70. That's what we're looking for. So if you got a runner, go enjoy. Absolutely. And you are now above the 50-week MA. You're above the 100-week MA. And you still got the 200-week MA. So Like I said, all we've been doing is kind of ping-ponging between this channel for the most part. Really, we've been ping-ponging there since last May. Last May we had that pop, and this has just been it. And this is just more of the same until we can break 226.70. And guys, we'd have a great chance to trade to 240, to 260, to 280, and all the way to this gap at 289. But we need to break this. All right. Best case scenario, if no one here has Tesla calls, again, just the best case scenario, let's say everyone took it. We'd want to pull back to 205.92. Use that 200-day as our support. If that holds, we can target 220, 226 again. No problem. Those calls that we sent out last week, they're in the money. I even said, be careful because what's the odds that it's going to soar 10% in a couple of days? And well, it did. So there you go. Good old Tesla likes to move. Are you in the calls for the Apple? Yes, we are in those. We're in those Apple calls, the 220s. It's starting to bounce a little bit. But again, above 217.57. I think yesterday Apple was as high as 20% on our calls and then just pulled back with the chop right around that 2 o'clock hour. 2 o'clock hour wasn't nice for us, at least for tech stocks. But at least we're seeing, Tesla moving higher, which is a good sign. NASDAQ moving higher. So again, guys, let's keep with the prism in mind. It is a short week. I have traded many Thanksgiving weeks, Memorial Day weeks, July 4th weeks, Christmas weeks. They pretty much feel the same. You don't want to be here in your office, right? You don't want to be here. You want to go on vacation. What am I doing here? The volume is going to start dropping. Just remember that. The volume is going to start dropping right into tomorrow. So, again, let's not have high expectations on some crazy moves. Yes, Tesla had a deliveries number. They also have earnings in 2 or 3 weeks or so, the 17th. So, yeah, obviously that name for now, but temper expectations. That's all I'm saying. We'll do the best we can. We got Amazon yesterday. That started the week just fine. I believe some of our members on Masterclass also got a trade. I believe Palantir. That was great. So again, we want to keep that momentum. It's been a tough June. We're out of that. We're into July now, step by step. Let's see what Apple gives us. Let's see what Amazon gives us. Let's see what Nvidia gives us. Let's see what Palantir gives us. Let's see what the Nasdaq does. Let's see what Tesla does. We got a lot to look forward to, yes, but I'm just worried about the volume getting a little shaky as we get closer to the day off for everybody to celebrate Independence Day, light up some fireworks, all that good stuff. PayPal long-term leaps? No, I would not. Morning, Carlos. Amazon levels for calls above 200 would be my level. That's where we are. Thanks again for all your questions. You guys are the best. I'll leave it there. I'm going to get back to it in terms of the Discord server. Have a great rest of your morning, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Cheers all.